Alright guys, looks like we're into the game between Team Karp versus Team HKN Division 1. We've seen a lot of plays coming from HK Division 1 and we cannot wait to see what have they got to offer for us into this game. Now we see a Jax and a Rumble Bam. Jax is a very strong top laner and that actually did do really well versus the Gangplank in the top lane for HKN. They do not want to play, Team Karp do not want to play against that, so they just banned it out. Rumble, also very good top laner. Something HKN used in the first game, I presume. Really strong top laner overall. Gonna ban it out. Possibly one of targeted bans of one of the Karp players, so possibly targeted ban coming out there. But Skarner is being banned. That is one of the most offensive, strong late game junglers out there. You do not want to be giving it to the other team. So it looks like Team Karp are looking to first pick something else rather than the Skarner, rather than having Team Division banning it for them. So getting it out of the way, making sure that it's not being picked up by the enemy team.
Yeah, as we saw last tournament and this tournament, Skarner is a really OP pick because he received such a huge advantage with the last Juggernaut patch that he have this boost in speed and vision. So he's really scary. And team, yeah, I will tell it just Karp because it's hard to pronounce. Sorry about it. They probably, I don't know, saw the previous game or just did their homework and banned the correct scary characters versus HK Division.
Yeah, I mean, Skarner is an overall OP jungler. If you're not picking him up, you don't want the enemy team picking it up in the second rotation. Fizz hasn't been picked up by HKN just yet, but he is a very strong top laner and actually mid laner as well. So if one of the mid laners in the HKN team do play him, rather ban him out than have to deal against him, especially if you're picking up stationary mid laners such as Twisted Fate or a Victor. And a Riven ban would also be a targeted ban. She's no good in team games because of the lack of utility that she provides as a top laner. She's an AD top lane and AD untanky top lane. That's completely useless team wise composition wise. But it was being banned, meaning that one of the players in Karp do play her, so just gonna get her out of the way. And we actually do see a Leona being first picked. That could be one of the supports, meaning a Leona. I don't see Leona as good because her E and Q can only focus down one person and she can't provide as much utility, but her ulti is definitely good, as we do see her being picked up on the first rotation. Now Gragas and Alistar are both extremely tanky. Really good synergy in terms of making those early game dives, contesting for those early game objectives, because they have a lot of primary engage with the Gragas barrel, with the Alistar WQ knockup. So a lot of primary engage going on there. So their team fight's already looking from the two picks they have. And Elise and Maokai. Maokai is not such an offensive top laner. I wouldn't pick a top laner just yet without seeing what the enemy team has, but it seems to be picked up. So basically Maokai is just used for utility rather than winning the game. Not knowing what you're going to be dealing against is not the best idea unless you're going for a rotation, sending your bottom lane top and sending your top laner in to the bottom.
Rather a lot of utility on the side of Karp, because as you said, like Leona is for utility, Maokai is for utility. Right now, actually, Alice is a really good jungler pick. She's OP in the jungle right now, and she's also like a good utility jungler. So yeah, and I thought about that pick. Maokai is too early because you already pick Leona. You're showing that you probably have a tank, so you might go with someone like Gangplank, for example. But yeah, I don't know why they decided to go with Maokai instantly. But yeah, on the red side team we see a big Hecarim and Corki, again Corki. So yeah, it's a really interesting pick. I think that the top Maokai is the better pick right now for the blue team than the red team, because yeah, well, I do think Maokai is better. Just
I would definitely say Hecarim counters Maokai completely, and they immediately responded with a Hecarim pick towards that Maokai, because Maokai doesn't do any damage at all, and Hecarim is just an overall aggressive top laner that can produce a lot of map pressure coming in from his ulti and the movement speed that he gets. So I would say that Hecarim, the response Hecarim would definitely counter Gangplank, not Gangplank, Maokai, but the thing is, there's an Elise out there, and Elise is so much better than Gangplank in utility. I mean, not Gangplank, I keep saying Gangplank. Better than Gragas in utility and the damage, so that might actually win the lane for Maokai if she does produce enough pressure in that top lane. But I'm not 100% sure if they're gonna go for the 1v1 top and 2v2 bottom. They might pull off a rotation. That's something that I would do. But actually, we do see a Yasuo and a Graves being picked up. Now, Graves is no good in the late game. He's basically a laning phase bully. So, since seeing that they picked that, they will probably go for a 2v2 in bottom or try to meet up for a 2v2 top, trying to bully Corki as much as he can, because Graves does fall off really greatly, and we do actually see that Zed being locked in against the Yasuo. That's going to be a really interesting matchup, because Zed doesn't realistically destroy Yasuo. It's more of a skill matchup. So we do see AD mid lane coming in for both of the teams, and AP in the jungle. So it's going to be really interesting. Both of the AD mid laners are solely reliant on mechanical skill, and we're going to have to see how well they play it out, as we did actually see Zed being picked up in the first game of HKN, and he absolutely destroyed him. So if Gragas manages to get him ahead one more time, that Zed will definitely put them to a win.
Yeah, it really depends if that will be able to place his shadows really well, and from Yasuo, it mostly if he will be able to dodge all of the shurikens and shadow attacks from Zed and place his wind wall normally. So it really is a match of skill. So we'll have to see. On the bottom lane, I really prefer more a blue side bottom lane. The Graves and Leona, I think they will be able to dominate. Well, actually, they will be able, I think, to dominate only until Alistar will get level 6, because after that it will be really hard for Leona and Graves to get after this Corki, and they won't do any normal damage to Alistar. So yeah, I don't know about the matchup on the top lane. So yeah, I thought that Maokai might be better pick, but if you say that Hecarim is actually
late game, he's more of a utility champion. He does produce a lot more during the late game, but in terms of the laning phase, he should get absolutely destroyed by the Hecarim unless Elise makes his presence in the top lane, or unless he's actually a mechanically better player and takes better decisions in the top lane. But theoretically, to put it on a blank page, Hecarim should be destroying Maokai, depending on how things are going.
Yeah.
But
okay, so yeah, we have a delay now, so we'll go on a small pause until the delay is finished and see you in the game.
Alright, see you later. Alright guys, looks like we're into the game between Team Karp and Team H2K. So at the moment, we're just seeing safe jungle pressure. There's nothing being invaded just yet. Both of the teams have really strong early game, except the top lane. So there's no point invading in any of the lanes just yet. We do see the Yasuo is halfway AFK, but the blue team are not worried at all about it. But hopefully he does manage to come back. They should be knowing where the pause button is. So we should be seeing him coming back. So yeah, he did pick up his items right away. And in terms of the early jungle style, we do see the two bottom laners gonna be helping Elise with the Groms. And as we do see, Maokai is in the bottom lane too. So It's a 4-man jungle right now. That's gonna be interesting. What we usually see in the competitive play, if we see something like that, that may lead to a tower dive coming in bottom. This is something that I do in my teams, but we usually end up diving one person. Diving a complete bot lane with an Alistar, that's going to be extremely dangerous, especially with a Corki as well. They have Alistar provides so much CC. I know Corki will start with his Q, but if he does reach his level 2, he will be able to escape with his W, so diving them is not the best idea, but Maokai gonna be roaming with the Elise. Really good start. Hecarim is actually gonna get the 4 Raptors in the top lane. None of the top laners are looking to start in the lane just yet because they want to pick up that early advantage along with the junglers. Now Hecarim, given has started the jungle on his own, went really low, backed off, picked up 4 minions and was able to get 3 pots. I'm sorry, 2 pots, I'm not 100% sure. But, oh, he actually did not buy anything. He has 600 gold in his pocket right now. So, that's going really well for Hecarim already. And Maokai is going to be using his TP a slight bit later as he did clear 2 camps with Elise, actually 3 camps. So, his teleport was delayed and Hecarim now has the top lane priority in the TP scene. But speaking about the bottom lane, Alistar is making some extra presence, making sure Leona knows that Alistar is there. Graves and Leona are gonna pick up the level 2 just a little bit later.
Yeah, so I think both teams were expecting probably a lane swap, but in the end saw that both bottom lane decided to go to the bot and top laners use their teleports to move to their lanes.
I would agree that there was a lane swap expectation because 4-man where there was a 4-man in the bottom lane jungle start. So if they would have seen a Hecarim going down in the bottom lane and Corki and Alistar being sent top, they would have more than likely dove that Hecarim. It's something that I would do if it was my team, because it's so easy diving one person when you have 4 people. Now is that going aggressive versus that Yasuo, both going down really low, but no trade has came off yet. Both of the ignites are still up. Nope. Yasuo was actually forced to use his exhaust in the mid lane, but Elise is making her way. He is gonna flash, misses the cocoon, really nice dodge by the Zed. He is gonna be able to escape. So that's flash down for the jungler, so she will have slightly less impact when landing those cocoons. Is making her way towards the bottom lane. Her flash is down, she is level 3 though, so she is going to be able to provide a lot of utility regardless of it. Now, the river
on
is
the middle lane.
Yeah.
Right when Gragas came on the gank, it was a pause.
I'm not sure what was happening in the mid lane, but I'm seeing one of the mid laners is having lag. Okay, it's actually Graves that appears to be having lag. But we do actually see Zed is going down really low, as well as the Yasuo as well. Now that's a 2v1 against the Yasuo, so he should be a dead man, and that could be first blood given to the red team. I'm not. Yep, as I said.
And just in case Zed used his ignite, so there wouldn't be any chance for Yasuo to run away.
We do see at
least the cocoon on the bottom lane, and yeah, so Corki was able to get away easily.
Yeah, Yasuo was forced to use his exhaust in the early game trade, so yeah, Zed actually had his ignite still up, which secured an easy kill, but Gragas was still able to get the kill despite the ignite being procced on Yasuo.
Yeah, but now, Yasuo already plays really aggressive, and now he have a flash advantage because Zed used it before to steal Yasuo attack. So Yasuo can go now more aggressively on Zed and try to get a kill.
Yeah, you know what, in order to win the matchup with Yasuo, you're melee, so you have to be aggressive. If you're gonna be pushed out, most of the time, you're not gonna get to the enemy mid laner and you will not do any damage and hence lose the trade. Because Yasuo's wall only pops up every 26 seconds, whereas Zed actually can keep popping the shurikens every 6 seconds, I'm pretty sure. So that's a huge trade-off. Actually 5.83 seconds, so he can actually get 5, he can almost get 5 shurikens while Yasuo can only get 1 wall, so he has to keep that offensiveness going. As we do see, he does go for the trade, clears the minions, forces the Zed to actually go against his wave, so he's not going to be able to trade off with Yasuo that aggressively. But there is no ward for Maokai. He does get ganked by the Gragas from the back. He is going to be forced to splash. Hecarim follows up with the Olympic pick, picks up the kill. Now Zed uses his Shadow Mark. Yes, he does everything he can to escape, but the Alistar was not being anticipated by the Yasuo. I was not anticipating the Alistar. He just came out of nowhere from the bottom lane. They did know that Graves and Leona were backing off, which gave space and room for Alistar to roam safely. There is no vision around the mid side, so any place they make can be followed up by a jungler, or even, as we just saw, by a support. So we have to see some vision coming out of both teams, as there's nothing much involved yet. Actually, Zed did have his trinket up, and sorry, Yasuo didn't have his trinket up, and so I guess there was no way he could have been expecting that, but at least they could have called that Corki is still in lane, and there's nowhere to see where Alistar could possibly be. He's just making so much pressure around the jungle right now, as he's gonna join up with Corki now.
He's a good support, and now he have mobility boots, so he will be able to roam even more. So yeah, blue team should be aware of that and should be careful. And Yasuo again trying to go aggressive on Zed, but they're doing enormous amount of damage right now. So he should be careful, and now he's knowing, at least showing him that Gragas is still there, and Gragas have the barrel in case if he will try to go really aggressive on Yasuo.
Yeah, well, basically HKN are using every opportunity they can to roam, and they did know that the bottom lane was away, so Alistar used his opportunity to pick up an easy kill in the mid lane. It wasn't easy, I have to say, it definitely was not easy, but it definitely gave the advantage to even get the kill in the first place. So really well played by the Alistar, and we do see Elise is gonna pick up that red. She is gonna roam towards her blue pretty soon, and knowing that information, if Gragas does keep the timers, he should know, since Elise is gonna be near her blue, he can make that push towards the bottom side or even make extra dragon pressure. But we actually do see Alistar making so much pressure for Leona and Graves. Graves is not going to be is finding it difficult to actually get any farm out there. He is doing his best to keep up against farm against Corki, but he only has a pickaxe while Corki has his chain, so it's going to be very difficult to counter that for him.
Yeah, I think Alice is trying to force gank on the bottom lane, but it's really hard to do because they don't know where Gragas is. Gragas is right now on the mid lane, and that using his mark, and probably it'll be a death of Yasuo. Yeah, Yasuo just pops up. Nice barrel by Gragas.
Yeah, absolutely, I have to say. Also, overextending again. I understand he has to overextend in order to do anything in that lane, but the thing is, he has no vision, he has no room to overextend, so hence he's getting killed all over the place, and that Zed has already secured 3 kills. That's gonna be, he's gonna be so dominant, and if we look at the previous game, in our first game, he's gonna absolutely use the advantage to snowball it into the other lanes. Now Gragas is gonna actually try to go for a possible dive. He does not have his ulti, so it will be a little bit difficult. Yeah, as we do see, he actually is gonna back off, not gonna risk it, as the wave is gonna it is still pushing.
Is actually, well, I want to like concentrate a little bit more on the mid lane. Yasuo is, we can see that he's a really good player, and he's farming good, and he's trying to be aggressive with that. That is correct, but still, like Zed, I think that his decision was to go full offensive runes, so that's why he's doing that insane amount of damage. So even Elise was easily killed without him using his ultimate. He flashed in, use Shuriken, use E, and that's it. And right now he picks up an easy kill on Yasuo.
Yeah.
So he's getting really scary, and that's why all assassins are really scary. If they get fed early on, it will be impossible to stop them in the future.
Yeah, as we do see, Zed already has 4 kills, and he should be looking to mobilize himself. He already has bought boots. Basically, Yasuo cannot do anything against him, and as long as Yasuo will keep coming on his own towards that mid lane, Zed will keep destroying him. So actually, there's no need for him to mobilize his pressure onto any other lane just yet. But he can most definitely do it whenever he kills Yasuo, especially as we did see. Try to back off there, but what he can do is transition the pressure into the bottom lane. They have no wards. If you look at the vision right now in the map, the wards are just completely on for the red side team. I don't see any blue wards except one coming in where the Gragas attempted an unsuccessful dive. But the vision is once again in HKN favor. They're completely dominating the vision game, and that might cause them to completely collapse and win the game on its own.
So it's the second team that's doing the same mistake over HK division. And yeah, I thought that they might see stream and get some knowledge out of it, but it seemed that they didn't.
Well, the mid laner is pretty consistent in terms of winning the mid lane, so it's hard to ban out every single champion he plays, but we do see he is extremely dominant with that Zed and the LeBlanc. We actually didn't see any of the bans coming out from there against that, but you can't just keep your bans for the mid lane because it is a waste when it comes to other champions as well, such as Smother. We actually do see it coming out on the top lane. Leona does land 3 people, but it was way too late as Hecarim. I mean, Maokai got burst down so quickly, and the rest of the team are just following up. Leona is possibly going to get that. Yasuo is just so squishy right now. He's completely underleveled compared to that Hecarim. He does manage to pick up that alpha as he does get. Chunks down the turret's damage. Oh my god, he does actually secure the kill on the Hecarim. So really nicely played by the red team, I have to say, but the blue team Yasuo manages to get those kills in the places that I did not expect him to get any, so have to say really well played by the Yasuo.
Yeah,
funny enough,
it's good that he just didn't die without getting anything, so it's good that he...
absolutely.
Well, actually, thanks to the turret, because the turret was what Alistar did really well. He aggroed the turret, popped off his ultimate, and wasn't received any damage at all, like for continuous time. But then he forgot that his ultimate is not working forever and died from the turret. And then Hecarim probably wasn't expecting that turret will aggro on him and died as well. So yeah, actually both teams did well. And in the end, that was, I think it was 2-4-2.
It was 2-4-3. It was 2-4-3. But the thing is, we're actually seeing somebody actually killing somebody from. We actually see an enemy team of HPN actually killing one of the players. Oh my god! An amazing dodge by Zed with the death mark. Still tries to chase. His shadow should be up soon. Doesn't land the E. Secures the kill with the flash. You actually did see a couple of kills being picked up against the HKM players, but the fact is, Zed is still destroying regardless, and that the kills on Yasuo have not paid off just yet. Or will they ever pay off? I'm not 100% sure. Zed is just completely dominating the mid lane, as Gragas can just transition the pressure into the bottom lane, zone those guys out, while Zed is going to pick up an easy turret. There's nobody following up to protect the mid lane turret while Yasuo is dead. So that just easily secures another mid lane turret, and now he is finally looking to roam.
Yeah,
thing is,
guys, on stream, what I want to say, like, it's not like HK division is somewhat of challenger level, and
they are all diamond players.
Yeah, so they all diamond players, and red team is just playing that good. So while I was talking, Gragas took another kill, Leona was killed, and now Ellie's trying to kill Corki, Corki getting away really easily. Yasuo finally get a kill on someone again. Peppering teleports, but just receiving a few shots from the turret. Ultimate on Ellis, and now Corki is in trouble. Corki died, and now Alistar in trouble without his ultimate. So blue team actually do something interesting for a change, and they probably will take this turret and probably the next dragon that will come up in 15 seconds.
Yeah, I have to say, Gragas did make a nice engage. He did what he does best, is he zones people so well. So he did manage to ulti. I'm pretty sure it was Leona. Basically, they killed one person really quick. But the fact that his ulti was used, he didn't have anything else to offer, and the rest of the blue team just completely followed up and completely destroyed what was left of the red team. And for a fact, it was a 4v4, so it was really nicely played by the blue team. He picked up an East Dragon, might give them an edge in the game. Yeah, so going for that greedy Q, Zed is just gonna follow up pretty easily, use the death mark, completely isolate Yasuo, and he was not able to get away in any possible way, because that is just so strong right now. Can't do anything. Hecarim tried to go for a greedy chase on that Graves, but Graves looks like he is on the pursuit by the Zed. Gonna go for a chase.
Yeah, so blue team after the dragon went full on greed mode, and that's why they lost 3 of them members. And Zed's still chasing Graves, so Graves might be in trouble. But Zed don't have flash, but yeah,
he did use eSports. Yeah. Pretty easy kill for Zed. It was really secure. Leona shouldn't have. Well, she didn't die, so. But thing is, Graves was being chased. What the blue team should have done is transition that pressure onto another lane, onto the mid lane or the bottom lane, because when you know Zed is chasing Zed is the only one that's really fed, so you can actually force a team fight while Zed is chasing Graves. Any advantage like that can tip the advantage for the blue team. We haven't seen anything like that, but looks like Yasuo is just gonna pick up some extra farm, try to come in ahead in any way he can, but that Zed is just 8-0 right now, completely demolishing, mechanically, surgically picking out the players of the blue team, and they are finding it a difficulty to counter his plays.
Yeah, if we look at the gold difference, right now Yasuo have only 6k gold, if we sum it up, and Zed almost have 9k gold. So, and if we look at the overall team gold difference, it's 8,500 gold, red team in a 8,500 golden lead. So it looks really grim for the blue team. I don't know how. Usually you go on such a messy tilt because of this. I don't know if they will be able to do anything, especially when that fast.
Well, we did actually see a turnaround from the blue team in the bottom side whenever they forced a 4v4 engage. Gragas did do the right job, but he had nothing else to offer for the team, and they just were able to clean up the rest of the red team reasonably easy, and that's what made them tip that fate of the team fight. Now, you might see that coming in again, but it looks like the red team have grouped up around the top lane. Gragas making the ult once again, trying to isolate somebody out, burst him down, but isolating Maokai is definitely not the best target because he is the tankiest person on the team. He should have used his ult for somebody else. Now that's Gragas' ult down. They could be looking to collapse on this advantage, but Zed is gonna split and pick up an easy turret in the bottom lane as Graves is not able to deal with his split push. They have to send out more than one person, because if Zed will split push, he will actually destroy, and if you send one person to do anything against Zed, Zed will destroy him. So that's 2 people being sent to save their inhibitor, but that's a 4v3 down in the top lane. Corki providing so much wave clear, so much zoning, so basically they're finding it a hard time to defend their top lane. It's gonna be very, very scary for the blue team when the next wave hits the tower. Once again, Zed completely destroys Graves because you do not send the AD carry to actually take the turret from Zed.
Wow. Nice
Wow.
escape from Zed. He flash to escape W of Maokai and Leona. So he, with a little of health, he still survive and
Absolutely.
have the perfect score.
Yeah, he is looking to secure the perfect score towards the end of the game. Now, 2 inhibitor turrets are down, but the inhibitors themselves are still up. Yeah, so what are you doing? He completely overextends, not respecting the recall timers. I'm pretty sure they thought that the red team were going for a Baron, but they did go for a surrender road, I guess, so he did overextend, not caring what's gonna happen next. But we do see HKN destroying once again, and they are going to the finals for the first or the second place. It's going to be definitely interesting to see the enemy team that they will hit and collide with. Guys, we're going to see what's going to happen next because HKN are looking absolutely crazy right now, and we could see some faker plays coming out in the next game.
Yeah, I will definitely look forward to that. So, see you then.